Hey, coin collectors and treasure hunters, welcome back to Worth Coin. Today, we're diving into the top 5 most valuable Washington quarter dollars, coins that could be hiding in your change with values worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. First up, the 1984 Washington quarter dollar is a common coin in the series and was produced in large quantities by the United States Mint. It features the familiar design created by sculptor John Flanagan, with a profile of George Washington on the obverse and an eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. The obverse also includes the inscriptions "Liberty, In God We Trust," and the year 1984, while the reverse carries the words United States of America, A Pluribus Unum, and Quarter Dollar. This coin is composed of a copper nickel clad, with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, which has been the standard composition for quarters since 1965. In 1984, the coin was struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The Philadelphia and Denver issues were intended for circulation, while the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins for collectors. The total mintage was very high, with over 676 million coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint and more than 546 million at the Denver Mint, making the 1984 quarter a very common coin in circulated condition. In terms of value, a 1984 Washington quarter in average circulated condition is generally only worth its face value of 25 cents due to its abundance and lack of silver content. These coins are not rare, and millions are still in circulation today. However, in uncirculated or mint state condition, especially those graded MS-65 or higher by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, they can have a higher market value, often ranging between $5 to $25 depending on the grade and mint. Coins with pristine surfaces, full luster, and no wear are more desirable to collectors and can bring slightly higher premiums. There are no major errors or varieties widely recognized for the 1984 quarter, although minor die cracks, off-center strikes, or doubled dies can exist and may carry additional value if authenticated and in demand. Some collectors do seek out these errors, and if a genuine error is confirmed, it can fetch anywhere from a few dollars to potentially hundreds, depending on its rarity and appeal. The 1984 quarter holds historical value as part of the long-running Washington Quarter series, which began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Next up, the 1980 D Washington quarter was minted in Denver and is a common modern coin, part of the Washington Quarter series that began in 1932. The obverse features the iconic portrait of George Washington by John Flanagan with the inscriptions "Liberty, In God We Trust," and the date 1980. On the reverse, there's the traditional heraldic eagle design with outstretched wings, holding arrows and olive branches, along with the inscriptions United States of America, A Pluribus Unum, and Quarter Dollar. The 1980 D quarter was struck from a copper-nickel clad composition, with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. Over 518 million of these quarters were minted in Denver, which makes them very common in circulation. Because of this high mintage and lack of silver content, circulated examples are typically only worth face value, 25 cents, unless they exhibit exceptional condition or rare errors. Now, regarding the brown shade or discoloration that some 1980 D quarters may display, this is typically the result of environmental exposure rather than an original mint feature. Quarters can turn brown or dark due to oxidation, heat exposure, or chemical reactions with moisture or other substances over time. While this coloring may look unusual, it does not usually add value to the coin. In fact, coins with discoloration are often considered damaged by collectors and may be worth less than a bright, untarnished example. However, in some rare cases, a brown or off-color quarter could be the result of a mint error, such as being struck on the wrong planchet, for example, a foreign coin blank, or an improper alloy mix. These kinds of errors are extremely rare, and if you suspect your brown 1980D quarter might be an error rather than just discolored, it's worth having it examined by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. In uncirculated condition MS60 and up, a regular 1980D quarter can be worth about $1 to $5, depending on the sharpness of the strike, luster, and overall eye appeal. High-grade examples in MS65 or MS66 can bring $10 to $20, and only those graded MS67 or higher might sell for $100 or more. But they must be in nearly perfect condition with no visible flaws under magnification. In summary, the 1980D Washington quarter is a common coin with minimal collector value in circulated condition. A brown shade is usually due to environmental damage and doesn't increase its worth unless it's a verified mint error. For true collectors, clean, bright, and sharply struck specimens in high grades are the most desirable from this date. Next up, the 1974 D Washington quarter was struck at the Denver Mint and is part of the long-running Washington Quarter series, which began in 1932. This series was originally created to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth and features the famous profile portrait by John Flanagan on the obverse. The reverse shows a heraldic eagle with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath, symbolizing strength and peace. The 1974-D quarter is composed of a copper-nickel-clad alloy, 75% copper and 25% nickel over a pure copper core. This composition has been standard since 1965, when the U.S. Mint stopped using silver for circulating coins. The D Mint mark, located to the right of Washington's ponytail, indicates it was minted in Denver. That year, the Denver Mint produced over 353 million quarters, making the 1974 D a very common coin. In terms of value, a 1974 D Washington quarter in fine F12 circulated condition is typically worth only face value, 25 cents. This is because it is neither rare nor made of precious metals. In fact, unless it is in high uncirculated grades, MS65 and above, or features a mint error, it doesn't carry much premium in the collector's market. However, there are always exceptions with coins. If you have a 1974 D quarter in superb uncirculated condition, meaning it has full luster, no wear, and only very minor contact marks, it could be worth $5 to $25, and coins graded MS67 or higher can sometimes fetch $100 or more, depending on market demand and grading service. But these are relatively rare and must be certified by a professional grading company such as PCGS or NGC. There are no widely recognized major varieties or mint errors for the 1974 D quarter, but some minor die varieties and striking anomalies may exist. For example, off-center strikes, die cracks, or doubled dies can occur with any date and may increase a coin's value if authenticated. If your coin has unusual features, it might be worth getting it checked by a coin expert or sending it in for grading. In summary, the 1974 D Washington quarter is a historical piece of everyday American currency, but it is quite common. In fine circulated condition, its value remains at 25 cents. Its significance lies more in its representation of the U.S. Mint's copper-nickel era than in collector or investment value, unless you happen to have a high-grade or rare error example. Next up, the 1985 P. Washington Quarter was minted at the Philadelphia Mint and is part of the widely collected Washington Quarter series that began in 1932. This series honors the first U.S. President, George Washington, and features the classic obverse design by sculptor John Flanagan. On the front of the coin, you'll see Washington's profile, facing left, with the inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date 1985. The reverse carries the heraldic eagle design with wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows above olive branches, along with the inscriptions "United States of America," "A Pluribus Unum," and $quarter. The 1985 P quarter is made of the standard copper nickel-clad composition, an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. This has been the standard since 1965, replacing the 90% silver coins used previously. The P mint mark, indicating it was produced in Philadelphia, is located just to the right of Washington's ponytail. In 1985, the Philadelphia Mint struck a massive total of over 775 million quarters, making this date extremely common in circulated condition. In terms of value, a 1985 P Washington Quarter in circulated condition is typically worth just its face value, 25 cents. Because there were so many produced, and because it contains no silver or other precious metals, it's not considered rare or valuable unless it is in exceptionally high condition or features a unique mint error. However, if the coin is in uncirculated condition, meaning it shows no signs of wear and retains its original mint luster, it may have some value to collectors. In mint state grades, MS-60 to MS-65, a 1985 P quarter might be worth between $1 and $5. In MS-66 or MS-67, it could be worth $15 to $50 or more, depending on eye appeal, strike quality, and demand. The most pristine examples graded MS-68 can bring $200 or higher, but these are rare and must be certified by top-tier grading services like PCGS or NGC. Next up, the 1983 D Washington Quarter is a widely collected coin in the Washington Quarter series, which began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, this quarter features Washington's left-facing profile on the obverse, with the inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date 1983. The reverse features a heraldic eagle with spread wings perched on a bundle of arrows, with olive branches below, and the inscriptions "United States of America," "A Pluribus Unum," and $quarter. The 1983 D quarter was minted in Denver, as indicated by the D mint mark located to the right of Washington's ponytail. It was struck using the standard copper nickel-clad composition, an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This composition has been in use since 1965, following the end of 90% silver coinage. The total mintage for the 1983 D quarter was 617,806,446 coins, making it common in circulation. However, 1,983 quarters, both P and D, have a unique place in U.S. coin history because no official mint sets were produced in 1982 or 1983. That makes uncirculated examples from those years much harder to find, especially ones that haven't been damaged or handled. Most 1983-D quarters entered circulation and were exposed to regular wear, so high-grade examples are relatively scarce. In circulated condition, a 1983 D quarter is typically worth only face value, 25 cents. But in uncirculated mint state condition, especially grades MS-65 and above, it becomes more valuable due to its relative scarcity. A nice MS-65 coin can sell for around $20 to $40, while a superb gem MS-67 or better can bring $100 to $300 or more, especially if it has exceptional luster and strike. There are also some notable errors and varieties reported for 1983 D quarters. One of the most sought after is the Spitting Eagle variety. This is a die crack on the reverse that appears to show something coming from the eagle's beak, resembling spit. While this is technically a minor die crack, it's become a collectible variety and can sell for $30 to $100, depending on condition and collector interest.